Defendant guilty of murder in the first degree.
Last year, a jury didn't buy Becker's defense that he was insane when he killed his high school football coach, Ed Thomas, in Parkersburg.
He will then enter a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity, and at that time he'll be sent yet to another battery of psychologists to see if he's sane.
And the year before, Michelle Kehoe tried to prove she was insane when she killed one of her sons in Littleton.
If he's declared insane, he could end up just like John Hinckley, President Reagan's assailant, living the next 30 years in a state mental hospital.
Defense says Newman is a sick man who killed not from hatred, but from insanity.
Jury finds Sabina not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. Sabina would be sent to a state mental hospital, not a prison, and could one day be released.
From a social worker and a writer saying this was clearly not political. This was clearly an example of a troubled individual acting out. And I do feel it's time to speak out now and stop, because this is turning into what I call America's insanity defense, which is that we're not guilty somehow as a society of violent political rhetoric. It's always just a crazy guy's fault.
Although the media portrays the insanity plea as a cop-out for criminals to avoid responsibility, it is extremely difficult to be given the conviction.
Insanity is not a medical concept within the law. It's a legal concept. In other words, if an individual is insane, let's say schizophrenic, paranoid, has dementia, Alzheimer's, all those mental defects, if that individual can distinguish between right and wrong, despite the illness, despite the disease, and he understands the quality and nature of his acts, he is legally sane.
I read somewhere that the insanity defense is used in about 1% of criminal cases that go to court and succeeds in about 1% of those. Do you think those odds are?
That might be an exaggeration.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very rarely used.
Imagine a somnambulist sleepwalker, that's redundant, but he pulls a gun and shoots someone. The bang of the gun wakes him. He looks down and says, "Oh my God, I just killed my father." Now, given that scenario, could you find this person guilty of murder?
I think you have done wonderful in here, so we are thinking of sending you back to look as well. What is your idea?
Question is that in my best behalf at this time?
After convicted not responsible by reason of insanity, criminally ill patients are often institutionalized for life.
Yes.
How likely is it that they're out in a couple of years, which is everyone's great fear, that it's some sort of sham and they're just going to go tripping merrily out of that facility in a year or two?
No, you're right, Jamie. Everyone thinks, oh, it's a scam, it's a ticket out. Actually, statistically, the person seldom gets out, if ever.
The insanity plea is an extension of American values of liberty and justice within the U.S. criminal system.